he actually told me in the interview, uh, art compete with reality and it will have the last word.
I'm very excited this morning or today to be speaking with Maxim Derevianko, the director of Ai Weiwei's Turandot. Maxime, thank you so much for the time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you.
This film is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful piece, much like the opera itself. Where did it come from? Why did you want to tell this story?
Well, I have to go like almost 1 century back because so first of all, I was before doing Ai Weiwei's Turandot, I was working for the Rome Opera House as a filmmaker, and I was there already working since like 5, 6 years, more or less. I was doing there for them commercials, and yeah, basically, like in 1922, my great grandfather became first violinist of the Rome Opera House orchestra. So, like for me, every time I was in front of the orchestra pit after almost 100 years later, I don't know, this made me like think a lot, just, why am I here? Is it just by chance or is it destiny? I mean, he was a first violinist. I'm a filmmaker. It's and so basically, I knew that I wouldn't stay there forever to do videos. So, but I said, okay, if I have to move from here and go and do something else, then I want to leave this place with something very important for me. And so I said, okay, I want to do a documentary about this place. But I didn't want to do a documentary about the Rome Opera House in general. I wanted to do a documentary about the people and the lives that bring on stage every day a show. So this was like the whole big machine behind one show. This was what really fascinated me. And so I wrote a concept, then I found producers and everything. And then, okay, we said, okay, let's see which next production could be the most interesting to tell. And we saw that Ai Weiwei was coming to do his Turandot. And we said, okay, this one for sure will not be just a simple opera. And so we just selected it, and luckily I we agreed, and we were very lucky to filming, and well, you saw everything then what happened during this production.
Well, and it really is, I mean, it really is special to see him working to create this revision or a vision revision of such a classic opera. What makes Ai Weiwei so special in your mind?
Well, I think what makes him really special is that especially probably seeing him working on this opera is that everything what's around him or that surrounds him, he manages to use it and put it in his art form. Doesn't matter if it's a documentary, if it's just an art piece, if it's a sculpture or an installation. And so he makes his art very contemporary. So he absorbs everything what is outside of him, but also at the same time with his artwork he reflects the world that is outside of him. So it's living, he takes it from outside, he makes his artwork, and probably his artwork maybe hopefully can change the reality around him. So that's and of course with the opera it's even more because it's living. You have people inside that are also participating in this. So this is what I think is really special about him.
I would love to talk to you more about this because I think it's fascinating that a play like, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Turandot, am I saying it, or
Yeah, Turandot. Yes.
Turandot, um, that has been around for so long can feel so contemporary. And I was wondering your thoughts on that. What does it mean to take art from the past and contemporize it for the modern era?
Yeah. So, I think that there are some, that we can call it like classics, that they are classics because they can survive through time. And it doesn't matter where or when you are going to show it, the message that is inside that piece of art, that opera, that movie, can be anything. It just stays alive because it's so timeless, the what they're the topic. And Turandot, it started from a fairy tale, but the concept and the idea behind this fairy tale, it's very contemporary because it's speaking basically about someone who wants to fight dictatorships and totalitarianism. So there is this caliph who is an exiled and wants to win Turandot, who is the daughter of the emperor, and she basically wants to kill everyone. And the only person who solves the three riddles will have her for marriage. So, but of course, she knows that no one can, and so she has fun with it only because she is put in a position of power. And but there is this caliph who one day appears and says and wants to solve the three riddles. So when he manages, he wins Turandot, and of course what Turandot means, and that's why I think it's very contemporary today. And what we find out, it was that there was like a very strong parallel between Ai Weiwei's life and the story of Turandot, because Ai Weiwei, through his life, and especially when the Sichuan earthquake happened in 2008, I think, and almost like 70,000 people died. Himself, the Chinese government wanted to hide everything, even in front of all these people dying. But Ai Weiwei himself, he put himself in like first line, and he went there to search for the names who died, to ask for justice and everything. And so we created this structure where we see these three timelines going in the documentary. So we see the life of Ai Weiwei, then we see the story of Turandot, so Caliph fighting Turandot, Ai Weiwei fighting Chinese dictatorships, and our production have to face COVID,
Yeah.
which all these three things, so Turandot, the Chinese government, and COVID, that they all try to shut down the art in general. So we use this like as a metaphor of these three different timelines, and then once Caliph solves the three riddles, Ai Weiwei's because everything he has done, all the movements around the world that had to make like really big noise, like Free Ai Weiwei and everything. China couldn't make him disappear, so China was defeated, like in this case. So they had to release him, and we managed. Everyone of the world managed to go, I think, through the COVID because of the art, because I think you survived the lockdown because you watched movies, you listened to music, you read books, and people started, I don't know, to replay an old instrument that they left because they were just home. So we see, I think, that the message behind, we started the documentary as a making of, but then basically it became a documentary about why do we need art and why are we doing it. So it's I hope at the end audience realize it that art is just important as food. As a human being, you have art inside and you have to express it. Doesn't matter how or which level, but so that's the whole thing.
I'm so glad you said that because absolutely that's seems to be what's happening in this film, this conversation about the nature of art. And not just opera, but art in and of itself. And of course, you've said before you grew up in and around music, and I think you said your dad was a filmmaker as well. Um,
No,
I would,
my father was a Bolshoi ballet
oh, it's
dancer.
Bolshoi Ballet. I
Yeah.
apologize. Thank you. Yes. Um, but yeah, I mean, you grew up in the artist's world, and I would love to know your views on art. Do you think art is in and of itself a political act?
Well, I mean, we start our documentary with Ai Weiwei's quote. So everything is art, everything is politics. And then at the end, we close the documentary with the second quote that he actually told me in the interview. Uh, Art compete with reality, and it will have the last word.
Hmm.
And so I think that the last quote, it's like the evolution of the first one. So you can use art to make politics, and you can and art will have the last word. So it can change the world if you want. But of course, I mean, art. It's not just you cannot just put it in a square. I think so. There is also art just for beauty, just for aesthetic, just to emotion. Art is you cannot put it in a cage or in a box. Ai Weiwei use it as to do politics to trying to change also probably the world around. I mean, this is of course what I think. It's not him speaking, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, you can in this documentary, yes, art. You can make politics with art.
Well, it's interesting too because you talk about the where the documentary goes, and maybe we've already spoken to this a little bit, but I love the ending. When he says, "Art is something you're transforming into something you can never imagine, something that never existed," and then he says that can also give you a new life. I love that idea. Even whether it's political or not political, this notion that art is a conversation between the present and the past that can lead you to something new. I was wondering how you felt about that as an artist yourself.
Yeah, well, I think it's true actually. Like the first um, like the first script, let's say like this, of the documentary, I was very fascinated by the butterfly effect. So you know that a butterfly that moves her wings in a part of the world, in the other side of the world, they could create like a tornado. Uh, and so I was very fascinated from Turandot. It started from Puccini that at some point said, okay, I'm gonna sit and I'm going to start writing in front of a blank page. And I'm 100% sure he was alone. Because, I mean, I wasn't there, but it's at some point you need to be quiet, alone, and start doing it. And then at that moment when he started writing, put like his pen on the paper and to write that first note, which is such a small little gesture, basically that note never stopped, and how to say it, it touched, I think by now, probably billions of people, that note, in these 100 years. So, and one of these people is also Ai Weiwei. So, okay, can you repeat me again the question? What?
Well, about art giving new life.
Yeah, so exactly. Sorry. Yes. That is where I wanted to go. So, and when basically Ai Weiwei, got involved from this note that never stopped playing, he had to ask himself the same things that Puccini tried to solve. And what is actually beautiful about Turandot is that also uh, Puccini never finished it. He couldn't because he died. He prematurely died, but he didn't finish it because he died. So it's like he was writing and then suddenly he died. He just didn't had enough time. He stopped some time before dying because he couldn't find a way to change Turandot character because she was very heavy, very severe, very cold, and then he just couldn't manage it and put it in a musical form. So and I think that's what the beauty about Turandot when you arrive. So everyone that tries to put on scene the Turandot, will ask himself the same exact question. And because of that, you will start with your own life, your own experience to reinterpret the same opera in this case. And so when it arrived to Ai Weiwei, he put his life in there, his experience, his sensibility, and he made something new. So every time this opera or any kind of art form touches a life, it creates something new because we are all different. We have a different sensibility. So every time it touches one person, it creates something new. And also, if I can add one last thing, I really love the way we started the documentary. So Ai Weiwei saying, I don't really like opera and I don't really listen to music. So, but and that was for me like one of his quotes that opened completely my mind because he says, "Okay, I don't like it. I don't listen to music, but what can I do to bring something new to this art form, opera?" And so he challenges himself. And I think this is very incredible in so many different aspects because it's so, it's not that you say, okay, I don't agree and I don't like it, and it dies there. It doesn't make it's not there is no point in doing a critic like this, but you need to give a different answer to that, and that's what he does. And if you start, every one of us starts to think like this. If you don't like something, then okay, then try to work on something that could be better. Then I think it would be a very different world.
I appreciate that. I really do. And actually, I even like, to go off of what you said there. Ai Weiwei actually says, "I like doing things I'm not good at." And it's like, oh, there's actually that's quite a powerful statement. He's investing in this thing, like you said. He's not really into music, but I see the power of it. And honestly, it really is something to see as to the way you weave these storylines together into something new and follow him on this journey. So honestly, Maxime, we're out of time, but I really do appreciate the chance to chat with you. And
Thank you. Thank you.
congratulations on the film. It's beautiful.
Thank you. And will you be at the premiere in Toronto?
I'm not sure if I will be at the premiere. I hope to be, but if I'm not, I thank you and I wish you the best. And if I am, hopefully I'll
Okay.
get a chance to say hello.
We will have at the premiere also Michael Fabiano, who is the tenor that plays Calaf at the Q&A, which will be very, interesting also, I think, for the audience who will be there.
Absolutely, that is exciting. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Uh, Maxime, thank you so much. I really
Thank
do
you. Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Have a great
Bye.
bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.